Oh, late start to the vlog today. I just got jam-packed with a lot of stuff. Maybe it was for the better because I learned some really interesting stuff today, which we'll get into a little later. Didn't get an update from my DJI support email about the battery. I basically sent them an inquiry saying, hey, is this right? And they said after an investigation and so forth, they determined I have to send it back in for repair and apologize for the results and all that. So I filled out the form as usual. And one of the weird things happened again, which happened before. Like I already attached, for example, the information and the video just to show it, which they acknowledged they saw. So when I gave them my contact information and all that, which is what they asked for, the reply I got after was, okay, I can process you for again. Can you please give us a video or something like that of you rather showing the issue? So I even inquired, like, was my video before not good enough? So I didn't get a response for that, but it happened before as well. So it makes me wonder when you send in your support tickets to DJI if whether or not people simply read it off like a script of some sort, like regardless of what the person says. It's basically, here's your next step. If for some reason you need all their information, just use this template instead of actually like reading the whole message that you actually sent, if that makes sense. Either way, hopefully it all goes smoothly again. Too bad I recycled the shipping box they gave me before, not the actual box for the battery, like the retail package, but the actual cardboard box, because I didn't think I would need it. Well, I guess I gotta find another cardboard box to use. Okay, now for the interesting thing, which I didn't actually discover it until recently. So like I said, maybe it worked out that this vlog started late. So as you know, yesterday we talked about that hysteria of the drone and the close miss, so to speak. Whether or not it is an actual drone still, I don't know. But you guys linked me some interesting stuff, like the actual official report of it. I must say, it's kind of weird seeing all the blank details, like no description of anything. It just reminds me of, again, was this actually a drone? Because it reminds me of like this funny picture, basically, of what people call drones nowadays, it seems, when they see something in the air. Now, for the most part, I'm expecting like hysteria over this. Basically, people going nuts saying, yeah, like this is a reason why you should ban drones. They're dangerous. And holy cow, I don't want to believe this is real. So are there people that want to actually verify, like more than one person out there want to verify this was actually real? Because one of you guys, the viewers, you actually linked to me a video that was shown on the news about drones apparently. Now keep in mind, I haven't actually seen it myself in person live. So I'm basically going by what you guys showed me. So that's why I want to find out, did more Canadians actually see this on the news live? Basically from what I gather here, I'll show the clip here where you guys can see. Basically it talks about the incident that was talked about the other day, and it followed it up by showing videos of like a drone crashing into an airplane wing. So here's the video, and I was given permission to use this, so here it is.
Western edge of Barhaven.
Wait for it.
The proliferation of drones and their amateur users have increased the potential for deadly collisions. And incidents such as this one reported by a passenger flying into New York City has officials coming up with rules to make the skies safer.
Okay, is this true? In many ways, I don't want to believe this news report is true because even I said myself, I haven't actually seen it live myself. You know, I was thinking, even if this wasn't true, this is basically my concern when it comes to drones and the way it's reported in the media. Because you can see in this video, they were describing how it was an incident reported by a passenger on a plane who caught this on a footage. Now, for those who are unaware, like I was aware of it as a drone flyer, this video here is completely fake. Basically, it was just created by somebody. It's not real, and you can see like all these headlines basically exposing this. And it makes me really worried, like as the media, you guys have so much resources to verify this. So how did this even get passed if this is true? I know for myself, I even mentioned before, I don't really pay too much attention to the regular news outlets. I'm one of those people nowadays who rely more on digital media. So when I see things like this, like these drone crashes and so forth, I usually try to like verify it as much as I can. Like I would even type in things like, is this fake? Fake drone video crashes. And that's actually what the first thing that came up for this. I guess in a more traditional media sense, people don't do their research nowadays, and I guess that's kind of scary, where they just find these drone videos, and this is what the majority of the public views drones, for example. Like I remember before I had a conversation with you guys saying like my concern for an article that was published is they didn't even use the Mavic Pro picture, for example, for that recent incident, they used like a huge drone to get the emotion out of people. And in my opinion, this is just a further example of what people do to push those hot buttons as the public. Now, I usually try to give the benefit of the doubt in this situation. Like, for example, I'm assuming possibly there was a situation where someone was just rushing out a news story saying, okay, this is the next big thing right now. Like a drone was near an airplane, go find something to talk about. So basically a guy quickly did like a Google search. Oh, well, there's a video. Here's a good example of a plane crash. And they basically published it. But at the same time, I don't think that's an excuse for the bigger media outlets where you have such a large commanding audience, especially with the public who's so ignorant about the topic. In my opinion, that's not excusable in many ways to produce those kinds of errors without actually issuing some kind of a retraction or an apology. And at the same time, assuming again, like everyone saw this, like I haven't seen it myself yet, but if it is true, like it was published like this, I think basically the media has a responsibility to actually publish a news story in some ways to show the other side, the responsible users, which I haven't actually seen personally. Actually, I was thinking about one funny thing about this in general. Because I know for a lot of drone flyers, like including myself, I feel in many ways we're being unfairly targeted in a very biased way because for the most part, but people don't understand drones, and basically it's the sexiest, most outlandish like headlines that will get people, you know, the attention and so forth. I mean, just for the reference for what I feel that people in the media are doing to, like, you know, just regular drone flyers who don't really have like the bigger voice, it reminds me of the topic, like for me as a more of a digital media person, I mean, it's kind of a thing to talk about how it's us, the digital content creators, so to speak, going against the media people. So is it fair for me to blanket statement every single news outlet saying you guys are irresponsible and I'll use this, I'll make this like viral, for example, just to showcase that every media personality in the world is corrupted? Like, I don't think that's fair for me to say just based on, like, for example, one error or just maybe somebody's overlooking something like this. Because even I recognize when it comes to like media figures, there are people who actually try to get out there and do the news with the issues that people care about. So it's not fair for me to blanket statement everyone. So hopefully like people that report news on the drones and so forth, you'll realize, like, start reporting it like fairly in a balanced way. Don't use just sensationalized footage. Get out there, talk to the real people, for example. Because in some ways, if you think about it, it's kind of sad to think about with a news report like this. Here you have a media organization that probably has millions of dollars to investigate into various issues, yet you can't fact check something that basic, whereas a person like me with just like this regular action camera is showing you like the errors. There's something wrong with that, okay? When you guys have all that budget and all that. But I actually hope like the media would actually start working with the regular drone flyers, like the recreational, because even with all the interviews I see, like even with this recent incident, almost all of the interviews I see, it's always with, oh, here I'm interviewing the person in charge of the commercial flight organization, the commercial this and so forth. Like, where's all the recreational flyers? Like, this is what the law actually affects. So where's all the reports on that? Like, I'm not a media expert or anything like that, but from my experience, to my knowledge, before I thought the way these news reports would work when they call on experts is, like the news station or whatever, they already make all of their questions, their fact checkings, and then the expert's just there to verify it. But to my surprise, like just from my personal experience, often what happens is they completely rely on that expert person to come up with the topics, to come up with the facts, and then they present it afterwards. So to me, like, that makes sense why there aren't much information on recreational flyers, because if you're not calling up on the regular people to give you the information, they're not going to report on it because they don't know. That's the bottom line. So what do you guys think of all this hysteria so far? That was a lot quicker than I thought. But again, I'm hoping someone out there will tell me I'm just being trolled and this video isn't real. Really, tell me it's not real here. And to think of all that scenery, wouldn't you guys rather have me shooting stuff like that and so the whole world can enjoy it? What's so dangerous about that, honestly? Actually, these cherry blossoms reminds me of a guy I was talking to in the comments. He was a fellow Canadian who's now living in Japan, and he saw my videos where basically I was able to document the day at the event, but unfortunately because of the drone laws, obviously I can't fly it. And even he was saying like, well, that's ridiculous, why is Canada like that now? So unfortunately I can take like drone videos of the cherry blossom stuff, obviously because of the law, but I was able to see him capture his like in this area he's in Japan. So I guess that's kind of cool. At least there's some drone flyers out there in countries where they don't fear drones as like some crazy things that'll crash into airplanes and stuff all the time, where the laws are crazy. Well, what do you guys think of this recent news? Anyways, like again, I'm hoping someone's just gonna tell me this. I'm just being trolled here, but yeah. Oh, anyways, see you guys later.